are you there? I always see you outside. Are you inside?
We're outside under the tents.
I see. Oh, you got a tent. Well, good. I've been wondering where you go to the bathroom. So how are you holding up now that the Republican slime machine has started their nefarious activities, now that you're a kook and a crank and a flip-flopper?
It's getting just so ridiculous that I think it's funny. You know, somebody said today that I'm being supported by Al-Qaeda and white supremacists, and I'm just wondering why my checkbook is overdrawn by $1,200 if they're supporting me like this.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
You could be the fourth Dixie chick. But you have to admit you have a lot of success. I mean, you ruined his vacation.
I ruined his vacation.
I mean, the president has been on the road all week defending the war, which I think if he had spent 10 minutes with you, he probably wouldn't have had to do that. That's a good feeling for you.
Exactly. You know, if he had come down the road and met with me on the Saturday that we first came here, none of this would have happened. But you know what? I'm glad he didn't meet with me, because I'm glad all of this happened. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And we've jump-started the peace movement, and we're going to end the war a lot sooner than we
But be honest, if he actually...
Those are my peeps here in Crawford.
Peeps, wow. For shizzle.
The only one that can be, Pat Robertson's not the only one that can be gangsta, yeah.
You know, I heard Al Sharpton is coming down there to visit you.
Well, that's right. We're having a prayer service on Sunday, and he's going to be joining clergy from all over the country.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If you did get to talk to President Bush, you don't really expect him to say anything new, do you? I mean, come on, be honest. You don't think he's going to all of a sudden go, you know what? You're right.
Well, you know what? I didn't expect him to do that, but I wasn't going to let him lie to me. I was going to call him on his lies and hold him accountable for his lies. If he told me anything about keeping America...
Okay, but the fundamental disagreement that he has with you and with me and lots of people in this country is he would say to you, Iraq is one battle in the war on terror. Now, you and I don't agree with that, but don't you think he believes it?
No, I don't think he believes it.
Really?
Because I know in July of 2002, the Downing Street memos proved that they fabricated the intelligence to
but that's
fit the policy of WMDs and terrorism. He knew there was no terrorists in Iraq. There was no terrorists there to begin with.
I know, but he's a simple man.
He doesn't believe it.
If you don't get satisfaction from him, would you consider going over his head to Cheney or Rumsfeld?
Over his head. I've gone to the American people, and we employ him, and he's our...
Well, now what if in 50 years, I mean, you may still be around in 50 years, we're about the same age, what if in 50 years there actually was a democracy in Iraq? I don't think it's going to work on this time we're trying it, but sometimes things take more than one try. It took me 8 times to quit smoking. Would you allow that that's possible? And if it did happen way down the road, would you allow that your son did not die needlessly?
No, Bill. You know, in 50 years, Casey would be 76 years old with his grandchildren, and I didn't give birth to him and raise him to be a wonderful man, to die in a foreign land on other people's soil. And we know it wasn't about freedom and democracy. We would all want to protect America and protect our community if we had to, but not die to make other people rich for greed and power. You know, it'll never be worth it.
What would you say to people who said to you, this is more about you than about America or anything else? I'm sure you're familiar with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief. There's denial, and then there's anger, and then there's bargaining, and then there's depression, and there's acceptance. Are any of these familiar to you? Do you think maybe you're in the anger phase, the bargaining phase? Do you think maybe, yeah?
Bill, this isn't for me. It's in honor of our children who have already been killed. But there's millions of people in harm's way in Iraq, and we need to get our military out of there, and we need to secure the country. And, you know, I was only the spark that started off this fire of the peace movement. And if I wanted to call it off today, I couldn't even do it. It's just got a momentum and a life of its own. It's organic and it's living. And like I said earlier, we are going to stop this war.
Well, I sure hope the war does end. If it does, do you think you will miss the spotlight? A lot of times people, I mean, you've had an awful lot of press coverage. You've almost lived on camera for the last month. A lot of times people find themselves in front of the camera for a period of time, and then the cameras go away, and they don't know what to do. Doctors call it the Omarosa syndrome.
You know what? I don't want this spotlight. If it goes away, that'll be fine. You know, I would like to go back to the grocery store without people recognizing me. And, you know, people, like, a lot of people don't like me. You know, that might come as a surprise to you guys. But I'm not going to stop when this war is over, because we're going to keep the peace movement going, and we're never going to let our leadership use our children in this reckless and careless and arrogant and ignorant way again.
I thank you for joining us. I'm sure you can hear it. We like you here plenty in California. I don't know if anybody said this to you straight up, but thank you for what you gave to this country. Thank you. Cindy Sheehan, and let's meet our panel.